All right, hello and welcome to the weather update. It's 2 p.m. Thursday, December 20th. And we're going to start with this briefing of the storm first before we go and actually look at the models and the radar. Heavy rain, coastal flooding, and strong winds Thursday night through Friday night. All right, so impacts could be flooding, 2 to 3 inches, locally higher amounts. Flooding of urban low-lying poor drainage areas. This is late tonight into Friday night. Heaviest rainfall expected after midnight tonight through 8 p.m. on Friday. Coastal impacts, minor coastal flooding possible. All right. And also strong winds, 15 to 30 miles an hour with gusts to 40 to 45 miles an hour. Could be isolated power outages. All right. So you see here we have the flooding, significant, and the impacts for the coastal flooding also elevated. So it's like a little tropical storm we're getting here for the first day of winter, which is really screwed up. All right, so these are some of their estimated rainfall numbers. I'm going to have to zoom in on this a little bit so you can see some of their estimated rainfall numbers. They have two. They're a little on. They're not as high as the some of the models I've seen. So we're gonna go look at the models. They have it at 2.66, 2.73. But the rainfall amounts could be 2 to 3 inches, with locally higher amounts when into 1 inch an hour. So this is what we are. We have to deal with coastal flooding, of course. Strong winds in this area, so wind advisory is in effect. And yes, there's thunderstorms possible too. Isolated thunderstorms could bring even stronger winds. All right, so this is what it looks like. Now let's take a look at what's going on now in our area. And I'll just show you the radar briefly. You have some light rain starting to move in, just a couple of light rain showers. Yeah, let me move this over. Just a couple of light rain showers. It's pretty much it right now. It's calm right now, but if we'll take a look at the current conditions. It's 47 and just a light east wind at 7 miles an hour, but this is going to change. So now let's take a look at and see what how the models are handling this storm, and why I think it's going to be pretty bad. All right, so I want to first start with the wider view here, just to show you the storm here. It's developing in the Gulf, and it's going to go straight up the coast. So again, you can see this jet stream going like this. All right. In fact, I'll show you what's going on. So you can see here this moisture is just coming up our way. So let me just do this for a second here, and I'll explain to you what's going on. What we're doing here, what we got is we got this low right here, and this is the problem that we are facing right now. All right. If we go to paint, I'll just change the color to red. We have this tropical moisture just coming right up the east coast here, right up the east coast. This is very warm water over here. So you have waters and temperatures in the 70s here, at least, if not, maybe near 80, right? And this moisture, this low is tracking to the west. We have this huge, just trough right here, this jet stream being very wavy, and bringing this really deep tropical moisture up the east coast. All right, very unusual setup, but we see this more and more during the winter, and that's why you don't take the air conditioner out of the window in the winter, because you might need it, because this is what we're dealing with climate change, and the jet stream, like I said, it's all wavy. So you have this jet stream that looks like this, all right, and it's just all wavy. So you have this literally flow coming right out of the south, right from the tropics straight up the east coast, like a fire hose, so to speak. So that is what is going on, and that's why we're going to have such a bad storm. So now let's go back to the models. All right, so our storm comes up the coast here. We're looking at the GFS 12Z. Our storm comes up the coast, and you can see low tracking to the west, so we're getting into this deep tropical moisture, and heavy rain is going to be taking place throughout the day tomorrow. Throughout the day, you can see that stripe of heavy rain literally setting up right over our area, and it's going to rain right until probably midnight tomorrow night, at least. All right, it's going to be heavy rain. It's going to be windy. and it's not going to be fun. So if we look at the dew points, you'll be able to see why we're getting this. You can easily see this deep tongue of tropical moisture literally getting very close to us here. In this area, the dew points are actually above 70 degrees. And it's very close to us. Now, I think the dew points will probably make it into the 60s for a large part of the area. Like I said, it's going to be very humid, and we look at the temperatures, it's also going to be very warm. So, if we look at the temperatures, you'll see it's going to get into the 60s. Well into the 60s, very warm. I even see a chance of some 70s on this map. I don't think it'll hit 70. The sun's not out. I don't see that's how that's going to happen. But the 60s are totally possible. Very unusual, especially in New Jersey, where they don't have the, it's always warmer there, so it'll probably be a little warmer there. This is insane. This is summertime. This is summertime weather here. This is not normal for this time of the year, but this is what we're going to be going through, a very abnormal type system. So let's take a look and see what the rainfall amounts will be from this. What's the latest GFS rainfall amount? And look at that. It has a stripe of over 2 inches, as much as 3, maybe even 4 inches from, it looks like, right up I-95. So all the way from New Jersey all the way up. Now it has the heaviest rain going to the over the western portion of Long Island, while the eastern portion doesn't get as much. This is going to be one hell of a doozy of a storm. And then we have to look at the wind speeds too, because we're going to have strong winds too, so we have to look at that too. And you can see some really high wind speeds that will be impacting our area as well. Look very close to us. Offshore you have winds, this is a very strong low-level jet, winds of 40 knots or more. Very high winds, and look at that, it really comes close to Long Island. This storm is going to cause some damage. And it's going to be some major problems tomorrow due to it. And that is just the GFS. We have to look at the NAM next. Alright, so we can look at the NAM. NAM isn't quite as bad with the winds, but still bad enough. We'll look at the rain. This is the highest resolution. This is radar antenna. Alright, so this is the highest resolution NAM here. You could see heavy rain, heavy showers, and thunderstorms. These are going to be thunderstorms that are going to be over our area. These are going to be thunderstorms, all right? And for the first day of winter, we're going to have thunderstorms, yes. So and these thunderstorms, it's going to be just a train of rain that's going to be coming with very strong winds. And then that moves out by Saturday. But we'll worry about that. We'll deal with that. We got to deal with this storm first, and then we'll worry about the weekend. All right. Now tomorrow is also a big travel day, so this is also going to make a mess of things. And if we look at total accumulation precip on the NAM, it's got a similar pattern where there's like a heavy rain right over New York City, this is plus 2 inches, but it could easily be over Long Island. It's hard to say, but the potential is there for definitely over 2 inches, if not over 3 inches of rain. And these areas in New Jersey have already seen a lot of rain, so those rivers are going to be very high after this event. We can look at the temperatures, see how warm it gets. Yeah, it's getting into this. Now, this is probably a little more realistic with the temperatures because the flow's coming off the ocean and the water temperatures are generally cooler. Long Island probably won't make it above 60. But for New Jersey, where the wind flow's coming more over land, Tom's River could wind up hitting 65. That's why, again, Tom's River is not, if you don't like the heat, it's not really the kind of place you want to live in, because it's a lot hotter there, and you can see here, this just surge of warm air, and then we can look at the dew point too, and you can see that too. So get those very high dew points. So yeah, you're going to need the air conditioner tomorrow. All right, yep, you're going to need the air conditioner. And you can see that surge of humidity, and then it goes off to the east. But this is what you're getting with climate change, basically. And now we got to look at another model. We got to look at the RGEM, and look at the radar from that, radar output from that. And you can see, here we go. And it's just like a fire hose of moisture coming up the east coast, pretty much. All right, and I could look at the rain totals for that. Probably going to be similar, if not, pretty much a similar pattern. So there's an agreement there. The swath of heavy rain looks like it'll be more of a New Jersey and western Long Island. Look at the HDRPS. Probably a similar. Yep, they're all in agreement on this. So Long Island may get lucky because the reason why we have this cooler water to the south of us, that will hopefully moderate things a little bit. So in the next part of this weather update, we're going to go and look at the water temperatures. We're going to look at the Cape and to see where the strongest possibility of thunderstorms are. So we will start off looking at the sea surface temperatures, and you can see that we have cooler water just south of Long Island. So water temperatures are only maybe 8.6 Celsius. So, you know, upper 40s, low 50s for the water temperatures just south of Long Island, which will hopefully it'll help temper things a little bit for us. But the issue is just south of that in the Gulf Stream, water temperatures are 23.6. So you have water temperatures in the 70s. And they go all the way up over here too, by the way. So this is the Gulf Stream, which has been, you know, because of climate change, more warmer than it normally is. So you have plenty of warm water temperatures here. And so over with the closer you are to the west, where there's water temperatures, and the more trip over land it has, the less chance of it, you know, moderating a little. So that's why to the west of, I think it's going to be a little worse. All right, so we go back to this. We go ahead and we look at the anomaly now. All right, and it's actually slightly below normal right along the coast. But again, if you go over here, you have a patch of water that's 3 degrees Celsius above normal. And then if you go even further to the east, look at this bright yellow, 7.1. This is what I mean. The oceans are getting warmer and warmer due to climate change. This is an anomaly that we're looking at here. And this is all due to climate change, all these very high ocean anomalies, which fuels these storms to begin with. So now we're looking at tomorrow evening, the lifted index for thunderstorms across the area. So we're looking at that, and the worst of it seems to be off to the west. So we're looking at that. Look at that. We're going to look at the Cape. You could see there's some really strong lifted indexes over New Jersey. All right. And this could really mean New Jersey is probably going to get the brunt of this right now. That's what I'm thinking as far as the rainfall goes. If we go and we look at the Cape, you can see again there's some Cape over New Jersey. I mean, nothing that's going to say that the thunderstorms are going to be severe, but look at these winds that are just racing from the south tomorrow. If we go and we look at the temperature, we can look at that, superimpose the temperature on it. Now this is the Ventus Sky site. Has 55 over us. We'll make this a little earlier. So 55 over us, but if we go over Jersey, it doesn't seem like it's working properly. It's got to be warmer than that. I think it'll be warmer than that. The color indicates that it's going to be more like 60s. It actually has 60s over Long Island too. And look at this. Just look at those winds just racing from the southeast. It's going to be very, very windy tomorrow. And we look at just look at the dew points, and then I'll wrap up this weather update. Show you the high dew points that we're going to be dealing with too. Dew points in the 50s according to this model. This is again at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. But if we make it a little earlier, we have more higher dew points near 60. So the air is going to be saturated. So it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a disgusting day tomorrow. It's going to be wet. It's going to be tropical. And it's going to be, with all the travel, it's going to be a terrible travel day across the area. So definitely, I'm going to keep you updated. I'm going to have another update. I'll try to have another one tonight when the next round of models come in. We'll just look at the wind speed here. These are sustained winds, 21 miles an hour. Looks like the winds are less over Jersey, so it actually has like a little bit of a boundary forming, like a marine boundary. You can actually see that right here forming with the wind. I noticed that. Now, this is using the HRRR model, I believe. Yeah, you can see that there's sort of like a wind boundary, so to speak. And if we go look at the gusts, Let's do that. Could have some really strong winds. Look at this. Wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour around noon tomorrow. So there could be numerous power outages. Of course, could be problems with the trains. If there are, I'll talk about them a little bit. It's not really the subject. I don't really do videos solely on that subject anymore. But we have the potential for that for sure, because we have some really strong winds over us. So it's going to be a very stormy day tomorrow. Very unusual. It's going to be like a tropical storm pretty much. So just to let you know about that, be careful, but I will have another update for you later tonight and throughout the storm tomorrow, as long as we don't have a power outage here. So that's going to be it for this weather update. Take care, and thank you for watching.